Well, welcome back to Gallagher's Grip. This is Daniel Gallagher here. You know, a lot of people are asking me a lot of questions about me and about, where I come from and my story, believe it or not. And I was really surprised, to be honest with you, that there are that many people that were interested. So I decided to use this time to explain to you my story. So you understand a little bit about why I'm doing what I'm doing and what's happened to me in my past and where I am now and where I want to be in the future. So, my name is Daniel Gallagher. And like anyone else, I went to school. I had a great upbringing, loving family. Went to college, Nashville, Tennessee. My dream was to aspire to be a country music singer, believe it or not. I had a deep love for country music, and I went after it. And I was there lived in Nashville for 7 years. I was with a wonderful producer. His name was Clyde Brooks, and I was really, really involved in the Nashville scene for many, many years. I had 2 singles on country radio. Believe it or not, my stage name was Daniel Rose back then. I took my mother's first name as my last name. And funny story, I the first time I ever actually met Taylor Swift was when I backed into her with my mother's vehicle. I'll never forget it. I was on Music Row and I was backing up. I was driving. My mom was in the passenger seat and I literally backed right into her. And this is before she had anything released, etc. But I backed into her, really damaged both vehicles, and told her I was sorry, of course. Told her I didn't mean to do it. And she was very kind and sweet. But yeah, I was one of the ones that actually crashed into her. That's the first and only time I met her. Good people across the board. But was in Nashville for 7 years. Loved every moment of it. While I was in Nashville, I was going to college for my business degree. And I did, in fact, get that. And it didn't work for me. I found that it wasn't going the way I wanted it to go, and I was happy I did get my business degree. So I decided to move home, and I did, and started several businesses. I was involved in several businesses, from staffing agencies to healthcare agencies. Did all kinds of stuff with staffing and healthcare agencies, and even started an online job recruitment company, believe it or not, called myizzo.com, which was very difficult to get off the ground. The thing I learned the most in being an entrepreneur is how unbelievably difficult it is to truly start something from a conceptual format and create it into something that's actually producing revenue and staying on top of it, managing people, managing everybody's expectations, managing everything that comes along with starting a company, whether you're making shoes or socks, to doing construction, or managing people. It doesn't matter what you're doing. It's just amazing to me how difficult it is to start your own company and to actually grow it, and at the end of the day, find profit at the end of the rainbow, when everybody's hands out, when you have to pay all these taxes, when you have to pay all of these expenses. It's just amazing to me what you really have to do to earn a profit. But it's a full-time deal, and it's the reason why you work 1,000 hours a week as a business owner, just to see if you can get ahead in life. But I did realize it's not easy. Being in business is not easy. It's the most difficult thing I've ever had to do. And, being in business and being an entrepreneur and trying to stay motivated, trying to stay genuinely motivated in that business to allow you to continue to move forward is probably the most challenging thing I've ever experienced ever in my life, because the ups and downs are so drastic. It weighs on you. As a man, it really weighs on you. I've got 2 kids, and one's 11, one is 5, boy and a girl, and it's a tremendous amount of work to keep up with these guys. But I love it. I love every bit of it. I love every moment of it. When I was growing up, my mom, was so involved in my life, and I decided that as a dad, I'm going to coach all their sports as much as I can. Whether I'm great at it or not, at least I can say that I was there and be there for them and watch them play and coach them as much as I can. And that's what I've been doing, and it's been a wonderful experience for me. But the reality is when you take a step back and you think about starting a company, you think about starting a business, and you think about all of the aspects that go into that, and what you need to do to make enough money when it's all said and done. Folks, it's unbelievable. It's just unbelievable how much money you really have to make to earn a profit at the end of the year. And I'm here, and I live in Illinois, and I found myself in a construction company that I started, and it got very big, probably too big too quickly. And it was a tremendous experience on the upswing, and an unbelievably tremendous experience on the downswing, as we had a lot of employees. We were doing construction in many states, and had a client that owed our company quite a bit of money, and he decided not to pay us. And it was a lot of money. And back then, we were not running on lines of credit. We didn't have a huge, massive line of credit at the bank, etc. I don't like lines of credit. And he just decided not to pay us. And that killed our company. It killed it instantaneously, because it was a very large number, and we couldn't operate moving forward without. So the company crumbled, and we fought pretty hard to keep it alive. But, it was an interesting 2-year period of my life, the worst 2-year period of my life, being in business, trying to grow something the right way, trying to do things the right way. And you find yourself in a position where, even if you're doing it the right way and you're crossing all the T's, you're dotting all the I's, there are still some things that are completely out of your control. And this happened to be one of them. Big blow up. It was a big deal, big blow up. But, at the end of the day, I never intended on hurting anybody. I never intended on not paying anybody. We never intended on hurting somebody or a client or a customer. I mean, we tried to do the best work we possibly could, and most of our work was amazing. And, the construction company went out of business, and there was a lot of fallout from it. You live and you learn in life, and it was a very dark period of my time, because everybody turned against me, and everybody immediately assumed that I was this devil person, this unkind, unfair snake in the grass, if you will, and that just couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, it was so far from reality. It was amazing to hear people say that, certainly after you treat them so well for so long. But when it comes to money, and when it comes to, having somebody pay you to do something, and you cannot pull through for a million reasons, of which some were completely out of your control, you can understand somebody's level of anger. But at the end of the day, this particular construction company closed down, and there was an awful lot of fallout from it. And, you learn. I learned so many things in this particular situation in my life. And I'll give you some examples of what I learned. I learned that no matter how kind you are, no one cares. Nobody cares. No one is really loyal, and nobody truly, genuinely cares about the people who are floating around the top of the company and assume the responsibility of making sure everybody gets paid and that the quality of the work is good, etc. Nobody cares. For the most part, you got people who work for a company, they want their paycheck and they want to go home, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But boy, oh boy, in my experience, I learned that nobody really cares at any level. It was the deepest, darkest moments of my life. It was a 2-year disastrous fallout, in the construction world. People calling for money every 30 seconds, people showing up at your house. You got a wife, I had a son at this point in time. My wife was pregnant with my now daughter. People, knocking on your door, showing up at your house. And it's like, okay, wait a minute, man. I didn't mean to do any of this, to anybody, certainly not on purpose, at any level. But, what I learned is that, people never asked me questions. They never asked me specifically what happened. What was the issue? Why? Nobody really ever asked me what happened in this particular company and what was the issue and why did you leave or why did it go out of business? And, it was amazing. Everybody just assumed so many things, the hearsay stuff. He did this, he didn't do that, etc. But what they all didn't realize is that a massive receivable was due to our company, and we didn't get paid a penny, and we had no choice. But the learning experience that I had there was truly, nobody cared. Nobody cared whatsoever. Nobody cared about me. Nobody cared about my family. Nobody cared about me potentially losing my house or not being able to pay a penny. There was a moment in time during that period of my life where I literally had $20 to my name. Trying to manage a very large construction company to having $20 to your name with a wife, a wife and an 11-year-old son. Actually, back then he was much younger, and a daughter forthcoming. Only having $20 to your name changes you. And it makes you go crazy, and it makes you go insane because as a man, every second of your day, you're asking yourself, how am I going to pay my bills? Like literally every single moment of the day is a code red 911, and the pressure and the stress was so much for me to handle that you start getting crazy thoughts going through your head. You start getting really crazy thoughts going through your head, and it was so negative and so dark and so gloomy for so long, every day, every hour, every minute for 2 years straight. I'm not gonna lie to you, I got so depressed. I drove to a train track in my local town, and I started walking down the train track, and I was going to throw myself in front of a train because I couldn't take it anymore. Every single day, everybody, everything, everywhere was code red 911, heart palpitations every moment of every day, no peace at any level whatsoever. But I remember I sat down on a log next to the train track. And very few people know this. And I remember looking down at the gravel, such a dark, dark state. And I remember seeing my son's eyes. And, it was more like, Dad, don't do this. Dad, we need you. And I remember it was so clear, so crystal clear what happened, that finally that slapped me across the face, and basically made me wake up. And then what ultimately happened is the complete reverse effect, and anger sat in at such a huge level because I was thinking, how could I let any person or any situation at any level affect me to the point where I would think about ending my life because of what other people are saying, other people are doing, other people are texting or calling or writing online about me or the situation that we went through or I went through, et cetera, et cetera. And I got so angry that I just finally said, you know what? F off. Screw you. You know, and my personality changed. I got my car, I went back home, and I had to pay back a lot of people. And guess what? It took me 7 days a week for 2 years straight, busting my butt, working as hard as I've never worked before. But you know what? I did it. I did it. And it was an awful lot of pain because I had to make enough money to pay back these people while make enough money to pay my bills and keep my homestead happy. And when it's all on your shoulder, that is some indescribable amount of stress. And there's a lot of people out there that know what I'm talking about. But here I am thinking about ending my own life because of what people are saying and because of an event or a series of events that made me so dark and depressed, of which I couldn't control in the first place. I'm like, you know what? No. Ain't going to happen ever again. It's not going to happen. And this message goes out to those folks who are in, that state, that scenario, whether it's a divorce or whether it's a personal financial situation, a company issue, whatever the case may be. Don't you ever let somebody make you feel like you're not worth it. Don't you ever let somebody make you feel like you're garbage. Okay? Believe me, I've been through it, and I'm going to say it again. Believe me. It's terrible. It's dark. You know who your friends are. You know who your friends are not. And it's amazing. If you follow me on TikTok or you follow me on YouTube and you follow me on my podcast, you're going to know my stance against, knowing who your friends really are when you're going through the worst period of your time. Because I hate to say it, there are very few. There are very few people who truly care about you. And I've always said this. Unless something directly affects somebody's direct way of life, they don't care. Let's be honest with each other. They don't care. And like I said, once you realize they don't care, it makes you view people differently. It makes you be, very conservative about what you say and what you don't say. And, like I said, I had my mother. My mother was there for me every step of the way. And that's a fact. That's a fact. No matter what you're going through in life, there's always a way out. There's always a end. There's always a new beginning, and it's important that, people realize that. A lot of the younger folks don't realize that. I'm in my 40s. I've been through hell. I have my scars, so to speak. And the reality is it's just, it's not easy. Even today as I speak, I have a company, and I'm trying like heck to keep it flourishing, and I'm trying like heck to keep it, growing and getting bigger, and it's not easy. It's always about money. It's always about making people happy, and sometimes it sucks royally, but you really don't have a choice. At the end of the day, you really just don't have a choice. You got to get up and do it. So that's a little bit about me, and I'm very happy with where I'm at right now. I guess the gist of this particular self-reflecting podcast, if you will, is don't ever quit. I'm not a quitter. I never quit. No matter what anybody says about me or thinks about me, I've never, ever, ever, ever quit. And I started to disregard everybody's thoughts and opinions about me, and it made my life a million times better. So I started this podcast, Gallagher's Grip, because I want to be the guy that brings a lot of people on my show, and we got a lot of people coming on, this show who have amazing stories from being at the top, going to the bottom, or being at the bottom and trying to fight their way to the top, or going through living hell and continuing to go and strive and thrive, and that's America. That's life, and those are the people I want on my show. Those are the people I want to hear from, because those are the people I respect. I would rather go into business with somebody who has failed 10 times and has filed bankruptcy 2 times than a person that has never failed and has never actually had to go through true hell and back. I would never go into business with that guy. I want the guy with 10 scars and stories 10 miles long, because he and or she knows what it takes to get to the top and stay there, or at least keep a company alive and going, because it's a terrible amount of emotions. It's a terrible amount of a day-to-day stress. I mean, it just is so much effort, to make it happen on a daily basis. And, you do it for your kids, you do it for your family, you do it for your loved ones, you do it for yourself. I want people to be on my show who are fighters. I want people to be on my show who want to crawl their way. Claw their way to the top of the mountain. You're going to see a lot of amazing things coming, on Gallagher's Grip, and they're forthcoming quite quickly. But you know what? Again, I appreciate everybody asking about me. I appreciate everybody wanting to know my story, and there's a lot more, to the story. There's a lot to everybody's story. But like I always say, you think your story's bad, you think you have it tough or rough, talk to the next guy, talk to the next lady. You'd be shocked. The other day, I was at a daddy and daughter dance, and I was talking to a gentleman who was actually going to be on an episode here at Gallagher's Grip. When he started telling me his story, my mouth dropped. So again, you think you got it bad, start talking to other people. Turn to the left, turn to the right, talk to other people, and you're going to find quite quickly that it's not just you. It is everybody. Everybody goes through hell in most cases. So stay tuned for more episodes of Gallagher's Grip. We've got a lot of really great things forthcoming here. It's new, it's exciting, it's different. And, check me out on TikTok, check me out on YouTube, and follow my podcast. Again, it's an evolving scenario here, but I want to hear from people who, have went to the school of hard knocks, and they're still there fighting, kicking, and trying to, live a good life. Awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you. Bye.